Vanessa filming for Carolyn's Musings on YouTube and Etsy and One Way Journals on Facebook. So what we've got for you today is a series starting for autumn. So I'm going to be starting with two small folios. And then we'll be going into an ephemera holder onto the next video, and then after that an autumn journal. So I looked up what it is in the US, and then I believe autumn is starting in September for you guys. So we've got 4 weeks or 3 weeks before you're officially starting autumn. And we don't really in Australia celebrate our seasons as much as you do in the US. And I was like, oh, it looks so much fun, the way you decorate your home and you have pumpkin spice. I had to look that up because I don't even know what it is. So tomorrow at the shop, I'm going to see if I can get some pumpkin puree. I think I can find some. So hopefully, wish me luck. I'm gonna hopefully so I can make a pumpkin latte to join in some of the fun. So what we've got is 2 folios. So this gorgeous cute little one is daily prayer time. So it's a daily prayer little folio, and so it actually has a waterfall in there. And stay tuned because I'll show you one that's got a sliding waterfall option as well, and it's a little notepad and then some cards for praying for, etc., and what you're thankful for. So that's the first one. I forgot to show at the end of the video that don't forget you can always decorate the back. So I just added a butterfly here, and then this just says made by Vanessa at Blessed by Vess. I have an Instagram, Facebook page, Blessed by Vess, and that's where all the gifts go in that I prepare for people. And then so this second one is called a Psalm of Thanksgiving. It's just so sweet. And so it folds out like this and like that. And so we've got a bunch of tags here, pull out on here, and it flips over that way. And then don't forget you can put something on the back as well. So they're the 2 folios that we're going to go over today, to show you how to assemble them, and also just to give you maybe a few little decorating ideas. So let's click over to the next section where I'll quickly run through what's in the papers and what they look like. So the first folio that we have for you is just a little small one. It's really cute for happy mail or as just a little gift to give to somebody, or you could also include it in a gift. This one is called the Autumn Weekly Prayer Folio. So it's very cute. Here's what's in it, and so there's the front, and I printed that on the back. So I did print these letter size, so that's why the cutting is there where it's a little bit short. And then you have here the beautiful little prayer flips and a pocket, and then you have here, so these are praying for, answered prayer, and thankful for. So they're your little prayer cards, and printed that on the back. Now you can print as many of these as you like. So I'm going to go ink these out and then come back to you for the assembly. I've inked everything front and back just using vintage photos, so just use whatever your favorite ink is. So that's been done, and then all the pieces, pockets, everything has been inked with that as well. And then with these little prayer cards, because it had a black outline, I've used pumice stone, so it's a very dark charcoal grey, not very black but close to it. So that's what's been inked on there, and I just did vintage photo on the back of those. Okay, so what you need to do is the bits that you need to score. So if you've got a scoring board like this, you can use one of these, and on the folio here you have this line, this line, this one, and this one. So they have been scored. So you can, if you've got one of these, great. If not, a steel ruler or any ruler can be great, where you just line it up and use either a bone folder, oops, or a stylus tool to do that. Okay, so that one's been done and inked around the edges, and then these have as well. So you need to score where that little tab is up the top, score along there and fold, and then flatten everything out really nice and crisp with a bone folder if you've got one of those. And then I've inked around the edges. Now when you're inking on the back, you can ink the sides, but don't ink this section here because you don't really want that to stand out on the backing paper. So I've just sort of inked up to the edges, not on this edge and not on the fold. Okay, so then what you've got to do is decide, so this way up with this going to the right, there is no reason why you can't have it going that way if you're left-handed and you prefer that. So I'm right-handed, I'll go this way. And then you can do with your waterfall, you can either do it on the left where they're all staggered down here, or you can do it on the right, totally up to you. So I think on Carolyn's, on the Etsy page, she's got hers on the right, so I might do it on the left just to show you what that looks like. Now you've got an option where you need like a little belly band to have them all sit flat and to have a little closure. So I've just looked at what was on my desk. I've got a whole lot of scrap paper that I've been meaning to do something with them. So I found this bit from one of the last journals that I made. So I thought that will match in there really well. And look, it's literally half an inch wide. And then you just wanted to make it so that it's about the length of the folio, and then you just fold over a little section at the back so that can be glued up the top. This is going to be fastened down. You've got two options. You can get it to be a little bit longer all the way down here, and you can put it like a little Velcro dot and have that stick there. What I'm going to do is use this little clock that's in there that says my time and his time. I'm going to put that there, glue down the bottom, and then hopefully this will tuck in under there to keep it closed. So let's put this bit together. So the only thing I haven't done is just checked the middle. So that is 3.5 inches. So if I do 1.5, 1 and 7. I'm just trying to figure out where the center is. So if I go about there, it's going to be about this point here. All right. So just get your glue. I got my little, it's going to be about there. Okay. So here we go. Let's glue this bit down. It is a good idea to have something that is double-sided, because when you lift it up, you're going to see the other side. This was one-sided paper, so I could go over a bit more. So I just sort of folded it in half. It was more of an inch width, and then I folded it in half and glued it together so that it was double-sided. Okay, so that's going to glue there, and we want to lift that up so that we can start layering these. So if you haven't done a waterfall before, get your one that's sitting on the top and you glue along here. Okay, and then we want this to go, up the top. Sorry, I need to pull it down. And center that along there. It's not quite to the top, just so that it's got a bit of space there. Okay, and then we make sure that's all stuck down properly, and then we grab the next one and glue along there. And then we butt that up against here like that. Okay. Now I'm going to bring that a bit closer to me just to make sure that I'm getting them lined up, and I'll just speed through as I'm putting them down. Okay, now that that's done, they're all in order there. So you could definitely bring this down if you want it lower down on the page. That's definitely an option. I actually think mine's probably a bit high, but that's okay. And that's going to tuck in there. So I'm going to make another one, and I think I might bring it down a little bit lower. So as I said, you could put a Velcro dot under here, but I think I'm going to glue this here and have that just tuck in underneath. So what we want to do is just glue the bottom half of that so that it's firmly down on the page, and leave the top bit for a tuck spot. So we just want to have that centered. Hopefully you can see that well. There we go. Okay, and make sure that's not stuck down with the glue. All right. just leave that there. Okay, so on this side we have got an option. So I think I'm going to leave this for the front cover, and there is a little pocket here with some flaps. So sorry, I forgot to mention that. So you'll just need to score those edges and then ink around the edge, and then we can glue that centered down to this section. Okay, and they can hold all our little prayer cards. So let's glue that down. There's the fold line there, and there's the fold line there. So I think that's centered. And we have a couple of different ways of decorating this. So we've got this little label here. We could put this here. Now I found another butterfly in my stash, that any butterflies you've got, it's another old sort of looking one, that sort of old vintage look, that could go on there if I wanted to have the butterfly here on the front. So it could be a butterfly in the front and one in the middle. So I've got a couple of decoration ideas for you. So I've actually printed 2 of these. You can definitely get away with just one, but if I put that one there, you can see a little bit of it on the back. So I was actually just going to put 2 of them and put them back to back there. So that's going to be the decoration on that flap. So I can do that. And then here I could have this butterfly here, and daily prayer time is going to sit there. Okay, so that's an idea you could have. If you really want to embrace some autumnness, if you've got some leaves and things like this, I've got one of these that can go in there, and that would bring in the orange there. And then on the pocket I could, oops, I've got stuff everywhere. I could do this and then do the butterfly that goes across there. So you sort of got the orange there, and then you've got the orange for the front cover. Another option that I've got, I don't know if any of you have these, but sometimes we have them in a stash, a whole lot of little wooden little shapes and things like that. So I was thinking that could go there, and I could put like a little wooden leaf there, and then on the front we could have this, and then we could have that sort of poking out from there, and then a wooden butterfly there. So that wooden section would then tie in with a little wood piece that's there. So I might make a couple of them and try different ways of decorating that. So what should I do for this one? What should I do? Okay, I might do the wooden little pieces, or should I? Or do what's in the kit, and then that will give you an idea of what that looks like. Okay, I might do this one first, and then if I make some more, I'll show you those as well in this video. So let's glue this one down. Oops. Okay. Just because I've glued the whole thing, just I've got to make sure that any bit that's overhanging is not going to stick down onto what I've got here underneath. So if I put that at the point, there we go, press that down, and then here I want to make sure that whatever I choose is going to fit, because they might be slightly turned a little bit, the leaves are a little bit different until I find the bit that will match. So if I do that, all right, I'm going to keep spinning until I find, I'll do that later, so not to hold you up, so I can do that. And then on the front, I want to put this down here, so I can glue that down. Okay, and then I'll put, to bring a bit of orange in there, I'll put that butterfly there. Very sort of autumny, vintagey look. That one can go there. And then with the pocket here, I've got this label, so make sure that's up the right way. and stick another little butterfly from my stash. That can go on here. Okay. And that can go over the side. That's as long as it's not interfering with the fold there. And then the little these little clocks, we've got one here. If you want, you could put one in the center there for the cover if you wanted to, if you like the look of that, my time and his time, in the center of the flower. So that's an option as well. And then let's get the prayer cards. So we've got, I'll put thankful for, praying for, answered prayer, and thankful for, and they can fit in our little pocket there. Okay, so that fits really well, and this goes tucked in under there. Oops, I think I need to cut off the bottom a little bit for that to go in. And then there's that. Okay, so I am going to glue on the back there, but one thing before I forgot. So we do have space to put some note paper in here. So what I've got is, you can grab your tea dye paper if you've got anything. If you want to ink around the edges for that sort of vintagey, autumny look, that's great. If you like a cleaner look, you can use any paper that you've got in your stash. So what I've done is I've measured this at 4. So I've cut my paper. You might be, this is A4, you might have a letter size. So what I've done is I've pretty much down the middle, but it's 4, I want 4 inches here and 4 inches here. So I'm just going to tear that. Oops. And then turn that around, and then I want another 4, so I'm just going to have to rip off a little bit off this one. There we go. And so if I measure on the right, instead of trying to get my fingers under that tiny little bit on the right, I'll rip from the left. Okay, and then I want to cut these into some strips. And so what these measure, I'm just trying to remember, they were 6 6/8. So I'm going to grab these, 6 6/8. There we go. I'll use that for something else. And then another one here, 6 6/8. There we go. And then fold these in half. Okay. And then some of the edges, because of the edge of the paper, are straight, and some of them are sort of, have got a rough edge because of the scissors. You can just go in there with the scissors like this and just sort of rough them up a little bit, just so that, though, you know, they're not so straight when you've got some that are rough, but you might like the straight edge look, not a problem. And you might not want to ink. I did ink mine, so there you go. So I've done 2 sheets, that has given me that thickness. 3 sheets would give me, just depends how many pieces of paper you want in there or what you've got in your stash. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is go off camera and stitch that in a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and then come back and show you, and I'll show you with some of the other decorating ideas as well, just to give you a bit of an idea if you want to have a play. Let's try this again. I actually decided to make a sliding waterfall for this one, and I filmed it, and for some reason it didn't film properly on my phone. So we're going to try and do this again. So what you want to do is you need a base piece of card. So this one here, I've printed this on the back, so I will put on the screen what kit this one came from. It's an autumn kit, and so you need a piece that is just slightly smaller than this section here up until the crease, the fold line. So it is, for me, is 3.5 by 4.5 inches. Okay, so we've got that piece there. Then we need to cut another piece that is 4.5, let me check, 4.5, oh, it's just under 4.5 inches, and it's 1 inch wide. And you want to choose something from the same base paper so it seamlessly sort of fits in and doesn't stand out, because it's part of your sliding mechanism. So you sort of just want it to blend in with the background. Okay, so with this piece, once you've got that cut, don't ink around the edges because you don't want it to stand out. And also with this piece as well. And I've literally just folded so I've grabbed the piece and then I've just folded here, folded there. You can actually score it, but what you want is you want a bit of movement there. You don't want it too tight where it buckles. You just want it to sit there quite nicely. Okay, so that's that piece. And before I get into this, Rosa has done a couple of months ago, did an in-depth video on sliding waterfalls. So I will include that in the description box if you want to take a look at that, because this is just a quick snapshot. So for this particular folio, this piece of card, you want a piece that is printed front and back. And so this one is 7 inches long and it is 2 inches wide, okay? Because we want a piece that is going to be not as wide as the card. Okay, and just while I'm mentioning that, the little cards you've got here, you cut off the tabs off the top because we won't need that, and we need to put them in reverse order. So we want daily prayer, Monday, I've got this in order, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you want Sunday up the top. Okay, so with this piece of card, the side that you want showing, which is going to be your pull tab, is underneath. Okay, so on the top, what you want to do is, if I can get you can use a bone folder or a scoring tool, and you need to score. So the first line up to here, and I have inked them, you don't need to ink it, I'm just inking it so you can see what we've done. The first score line is 1 2/8 of an inch. Okay, so you score the line, and then you want to score every 1/4 of an inch. Okay, this one looks a little bit narrower, it doesn't matter. So try and get it as close as you can. So 1/4 of an inch, and you want to do that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 times, but your first scoring is here. So you literally need 8 score lines. So this one, once again, is 1 2/8 is the first one, and then 1/4 of an inch, and you want to do that so that you end up with 8 lines because we have 8 cards. Okay, then what you would like to do, I think it looks nicer if you can round the corners on the bottom. So on the top line, we fold that one over, and that is going to fit in here. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to center this piece. So if we have a look there, have it centered from the top to the bottom and from the left to the right. And once we're happy with that, we line this piece here, we line that to the bottom of the front bit here. So as you can see, it's lined up here. And once we're happy with that, hold this down, pull this out, turn it over, and we're going to glue this down. Okay, so we're going to glue down the 2 sides. There's one, and here's number 2. Okay, and now we can set that bit aside for the moment because that's going to go on there. Now, and make sure that once you've folded that in on the top fold line, you want to do that, then just fold all your other little ones so that it rolls like that. And as I said, I've inked it just to make it a little bit easier for you to see. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. This one has to be glued down. We don't put it aside. We line it up here, and we want to glue this to the strip. Okay. So I'm going to lift this up, and what we want to do is glue. Sorry, I just have to make, it's hard. I'm feeling, I've just got to make sure that's lined up straight. Okay, now we want to glue, obviously no further than the sides from the left and the right, and we want to glue sort of a couple of, maybe 2/8 of an inch from the top and the bottom, just along the middle section. We don't want that glue to seep over, otherwise it's going to affect our closing out mechanism and it won't slide. Okay, so we glue that down. Make sure that's glued down properly. Okay, now we're ready to put our first card. Okay, so on the Sunday, what we want to do is we want to glue it up to the, not on the fold line, but just under. And so that's why I've inked it so that you can see. And we just want to center it from left to right. So this first one, you can glue this one. The other one I glued down, I'll just show you. When we do this, when you get to the end, the last one doesn't flip up. And I'll do the same on this one, because you don't really need to see this bit that's in underneath. There's nothing there. So we don't want to fold, we don't want to glue this piece, because if we glue to the edges, we're going to glue down over here. We just want to glue it to this base bit here. Okay. Up to the line and center left and right. I'm just going to turn it so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, there we go, that one's down, and then we go to the next one, which is Saturday. And what we want to do for these ones going up the ladder, we just want to glue a strip along the center. We don't want it too close to the top of the bottom, or it's not going to work properly. So just a strip along the center. And once again, we want it under that, just slightly under that fold line, score line, and center it on the left and the right so that it's measured up on either side. Press that one down. So do the next one, just a strip along the center. And then we've got Friday, once again, just up to the score line and center left and right. Try and line those up as best you can. Okay, and I'll just speed through the other ones. Okay, there we go. That one's finished. And so if you have a look, it flips like that. How great is that? Okay, so this one is ready for me to glue. So we just need to glue that down on all four sides. This can just be single on one side. It was just the offcut I did. So that's why it's printed on both sides. Okay, and then we just want to center that. There's just a slight little border around it, so it's just slightly smaller than that left side. Okay, so that one is done. Okay, so I'll just, I haven't quite finished that one there, so I'll just show you with the ones and how that I've decorated them. So this was the first one that you saw. Now, I have just made it easier for myself and just used a little Velcro dot to close these. Now, if you don't want to do that, you want to do like a hole and an eyelet, what you could do is you could put the flower up here and the butterfly over here, and if you've got a little gap here, you could also do it on the flower. There's no reason why not. And you could cut your little circle here and put your eyelet in, and then thread a piece of cord or ribbon and tie it around, and that can be your closure. So don't fret if you don't have the little mini things. They just make it a lot easier for me, the mini Velcro dots. Okay, so that one looks like that. That's a little closure for this, and then I've just put the matching paper on the front of that pad. That's been stitched in with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and then it's got that on the back with the little praying cards. This one I added the leaf, and it's actually got the mica spray, which is the Tim Holtz mica spray. That one's in bronze, and I just sprayed that across the top. If you can see, there's a metallic sheen to it. I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up, but that's just sprayed over there. And I've put the little clock on the top that says my time is not his time. So that's what it looks like if you wanted to compare them on the front. And I've just put the reverse on there. And then this one, I put the praying cards in the front. I've just put this paper here on the top, and this has actually been, I've used my sewing machine to sew down the center on that one. And then the cards are here, and I didn't put I love it when you do that. Because the pad is laying over the top of it, I thought, oh look, let me try it without actually putting the little closure on. So if you wanted even a simpler, quicker little folio to make, that is your option there. And then with this one, it's got this backing paper. I will put it on the screen which kit that is from, just to have a different look, but of course use the backing paper that's provided in the folio, but if you have something else you can print on the back. This one has now got that sliding waterfall which goes like that. What did I do on the front? Oh, this is the one with the little wooden characters. So that's there, just for a more neutral look, this one. So it doesn't really have the oranges in there, so that sort of natural look. And then for a cleaner look, instead of ripped pages, I've got this pale green marble paper that I've just done it as a pad, and I've sewn on the sewing machine again with that one inked around the edges. I might put some different paper on the front of that one. And then, I haven't put the praying cards in the back, but there's another little wooden feature there. So this one's a little bit more of a natural looking one. So there we go. There's a couple of different ways to decorate that. All right, so now that we've done this, let's flick over to what's in the second folio, and I will show you what's on each page, and then we'll get to assembling it together. The second folio I have for you is called A Psalm of Thanksgiving. Now this, I forgot to mention with the other one, they're printed on 250 GSM. I can actually get that through my printer. So normally for ephemera and things, I print on about 160, which is 60-pound cardstock. This one is the heaviest cardstock that I can get through my printer. Now there are two base options. So there is this one, or there is this one. But there's also those in the backing options as well. So on this one, I chose that backing option, and this one, I chose that backing option. So they're the base of the folio. And then we have little pockets and flips and things on the side. There we go, little pockets. Now I haven't printed on that one. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it for this. No, I think this one glues down as well. So I'll come back to you if it needs to be printed on the back. And here we go. Oh, this beautiful little birdhouse and the butterflies here. And this little section says, always giving thanks to God the Father for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Ephesians 5:20. So they're just really, really beautiful. The colors are stunning. And so we have tags, and then this one as well, which you cut out and fold over. So this one definitely needs a backing. So that's the backing. And then here, this one, if we cut this out, it can be a little specimen card like this one as well. So beautiful. And so I've printed out an extra backing because I've printed these out on, well, these ones feel like 160 or 200 GSM. They have been printed on the back, those two. But this one I've printed an extra, so I can back it on one of these if I need to. It's always good to have an extra backing just to put on everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. There we go. Okay, let me cut this all out, ink it, and come back to you for the assembly. I have cut everything out, and I've inked around the edges, and I've just used my old espresso ink pad, but I believe there is a Tim Holtz one that's called Ground Espresso, so I'm pretty sure it's a similar color, but it's a nice dark brown. And please excuse me, I'm hoping not to sniff, but I can't stop sneezing. Allergies are through the roof at the moment, so please bear with me. But I wanted to get this video finished. So I've chosen that one, which is the backing paper. I can't remember which one. My brain is a bit fuzzy at the moment, so I don't really know if they're supposed to be on the inside or the outside, but let's just go with it. So the first thing we want to do is line up our pockets and our side tucks, etc. So we do have this one a Psalm for Thanksgiving, which because of the round edge, this one's going to go on the left, and I've already cut out the notches here on this side. So let's glue down the 3 sides on this one. Okay, and so this one will go here on the right hand side. Okay, so I won't put anything in those yet, just to let them dry. And then we have 3 pockets that can go in here. So we'll do that one there, this one here, and this one here. So I know I can glue down the first one, and then I'll try and line up the distance with tags for the other 2. Okay, so the tags that probably are going to go, I'll just use this one. So if that one goes there and I want it to go at the top, I don't want it to hang over the top, then the bottom would be here. And then that one would go in between them. So these tags will cover up those pockets, but that's okay. So I'm just going to grab a little pencil line to make sure that I go to that point and that there's enough room to allow for the glue for it to sit down in between. So this should be dry enough now. So this one I think goes in here. So that was the one that I backed. So that goes in beautifully there. This one might have been on a sheet with maybe some of these, and so I hadn't printed on the back. So this was the only piece that I needed to do some backing. It's not a problem. I always print off a neutral when I'm doing it, just in case I need to back anything. So that's that one. Now you're more than welcome to sew around everything. I'm not really well at the moment, so I'm not going to sew for mine, but it's a beautiful addition if you wanted to sew around the edges of your folio. You've got words here, so it's quite close to the edge, so if you were going to sew, it might be better to do something like in some cream thread so it doesn't take away from the text that's on there. The scripture is just beautiful. Why is that one not going in? I might have done my glue a little bit high. Hang on. Or make sure that you do a very thin strip of glue around the edges. I might just have to cut down just a little sliver off the top of the bottom just for that one to fit in, so I'll come back and do that. And then so with tags, we have a variety of beautiful tags that can go in here. This one I thought I might decorate. I've just inked around front and back, so that can go there. That one can go there, and this one I was just got a little, it's not cheesecloth, but it's something very flimsy, so I thought I might do that, and a little bit of lace down the bottom. So let me quickly just put some glue on. There we go. There, and then a bit of this there, and then one of the butterflies. Is that what I was going to do here? Just one of those there. Okay, I'm going to let that dry before I put that one in there. And then we have these 3 tags as well, so they can go in the pockets as doubles. Now you've got a choice. There are so many fantastic little fussy cuts and labels and things that you can add on this. So if you wanted to, they will fit across the tag that way, but you've also got the option where you can put it sort of like on an angle like that, and you could put those on the top. All right, so there's lots of these. With God all things are possible, and Emmanuel, God is with us, and attune my heart to sing thy grace, give thanks, his grace is enough. So there's lots of fantastic things that you can put on the front of those if you want. I'll put those ones behind. Okay, and so then I'll come back to this one, and then on the front we've got a couple of bits that we can add. So this one's going to fold in that way, and then this way. So this is going to be the front. So I've grabbed some lace. So I thought, is there a wrong or right way? Oh, I can't tell. I think it'll be okay this way. So I add some lace. There's so many fabulous options that you can add. If I just do that, it should be enough to capture it all. And there we go. Have some lace on the front. And then I was thinking I might put a pocket. So I was thinking of doing this pocket at the front with this fussy cut up here. But honestly, you could use any of the labels. There are so many different options of what you could do here. So I thought I might do a bit of a strip of this. And then, whoops, that one. And then a butterfly going that way. But any of the labels on the front would look really fantastic. So I'm just going to glue that down on the 3 sides. There we go. If you don't have lace, you can tear out bits of paper. That could look really good. So I'll just stick that, and hopefully that glue should stick down on that lace. And then I thought I would put this fantastic big fussy cut up the top. The inside flip, Carolyn put this there, and it looked really good on hers as well. So just preference. You can have a play. If you make a couple of them, you can try lots of different ways to decorate them. And so I'm going to cut that lace down later. There we go. That one can, oops. I might have to come back with that because the glue, I've just got to make sure that it's strong enough to stick through that lace. And then I was thinking that I might put one of these, so they've all been inked around the front. Oh, I haven't inked on the back of that one, so I have to do that. So I was thinking that could go there, or don't know, would you like that one better? With the darker brown maybe? Give thanks, that one there. And then here on this one, I was thinking of doing another pocket. So there's a rounded edge, so I thought I might do that this way. But honestly, if you chose to do a pocket here, you could do a pocket on the back instead of having it on the front. Because it's flat enough, you could do that, but I'm going to put mine here. There we go. So I'll pop that one there. And that can go in there. And then on the back I had an idea for these. Now these, Carolyn had them still with the white centre, had them as a tag, so you can do that and you can dress them up with the labels. So what I was thinking, I think I've got a bit of glue there. So I've cut out the centre of both of these, but before I've cut out the centre, it is a lot easier to ink around your edges first, because once you cut out the centre, it's very flimsy. So do that first, and then cut out. I just used a cutting knife and my ruler to cut out that, or you can use a pair of scissors and then try to ink around the edges. Now this one, there's 2 ways of doing this. I glued just one piece of acetate between the 2 sides and folded them up. And then what I was going to do was just put a butterfly here on this side, so it's on the top of the acetate, and another one there. I've just inked the back with my olive ink, just so that it's not glaring white if they don't exactly match up. So let me just put that on there, and I'll just put a little bit of glue. And the reason why we do 2, one on either side, is just in case you see that glue, you don't want to sort of see that on the back. So we'll try and match this one up as best as we can on the other side. There we go. Okay, so you've got your butterfly, you know, and if you just do the center, then you've got the little wings that will come up. I'll just let that dry for a little bit. The other option is I have done with this butterfly, I've already glued it front and back, because if I glue it on the inside, you will see the glue coming through. So I've glued this front and back, and I've glued a piece of acetate on this side and then on this side. And then what I'm going to do is put the butterfly in there, and it's going to be trapped inside, and I'm going to glue the sides together. Okay, so that's another way. So this is more of a specimen card where it's not on the outside of the acetate. So I need to put a bit of glue. Hopefully, if it's really tight, that butterfly won't slip. Okay. Now what I might do is I wonder if I should just put the tiniest little dot so that it will hopefully stay put. There we go. So if that's there, then close this shut and press it down. Oh, there's no. I put too, okay, don't do my mistake. I put too much glue on and it's come through on the acetate. Okay, that's a bit of a blob. So don't do that. You've just got to put the tiniest little bit of glue because it's squashed, and now that's trapped inside and I can't get to it. I wonder if I try and take it apart, if I can. Oh, it's pulling it a bit. Okay. What I might do is clean that up and then try that again. So I'll come back to that. And so the idea of this one, I was thinking of this fabulous little piece. I was just going to put this one on the back. Make sure I'm up the right way. Yes, I am. Just going to put that there. And I thought that could be a nice little specimen to sit in the back. So I'll just glue just a little bit on either side. And this is always giving thanks to God the Father for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Love it. Okay, so just a bit of glue there, a bit of glue there. I don't want it to slip through. Oh, so I've got quite a bit more. I don't want it to be too loose. So I'll glue some more there. And might just put it around, eyeball it for around about the middle. There we go. Right. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the camera for a sec, just fix up this one so it will go in the pocket and then come back to you. Okay, so I've just neatened that up a little bit. Had a couple of thoughts for you. So firstly, with this one, I did glue it again, and I glued around very thin on the edges. It's still sort of squeezed into the center a little bit. So if you've got really thin double-sided tape, or one that you could sort of cut into little pieces along there, that would actually work better. Okay, so on the front I've done this, and then afterwards I saw this. It says, "Tune my heart to sing thy grace." I actually thought that would be really beautiful to have that with the little birds to sing. So that could have looked really good on the front. And then just trying to give you options and ideas. You could put like the little tickets or the little label things, you could put those in there. That could look really cute as an idea. So I'll just put those back there. But anyway, that's an idea that you could do on the front. I mean, otherwise you could put these and you could put the little labels in there. I'm not worried about that because I'm going to be making a journal, so I'll be able to use those into the autumn journal. Okay, so we open up and flip on the left, and then this beautiful journaling card, and that's Psalm 9 verse 1 on there. Beautiful. And then here it's the pocket with that one, and I've just put that label with a manual there. Open up, and it's got the 3 pockets, and it's got 2 tags in each. Okay, so that's really sweet. And then this one here, I just cut it down slightly, and then there's a journaling card that is in there. So you can always back it if you don't want to use it for journaling. You could always back it with a pattern paper. That could look really good as well. And then fold this back together, and then on the back I've added that one there, and I actually think that blends in really well. And then surprise, you've got your little butterfly specimen card on the back. Okay, now talking about journals, I am going to be making an autumn journal. So can I ask you all for a favor, those that return, or even if you're a new subscriber or you've just popped by the channel, could you put in the comments what sort of journal would you like to see me make? What's one of your favorites? Do you like to sew in signatures? Do you like no sew? I've done a couple of those lately. Do you like lap book? Do you like a flip-flop style? So just a sec. So a flip-flop journal is one like this. This is one that I made last year to go with my Inspire Bible, and it goes like the, oh, that's just some notes I've put in there, but it goes like this, where it is a flip-flop front and back, and you sew the signature into the creases. So that goes this way, and then it goes backwards that way, and then you open this and it goes that way where the signatures are sewn in. It's quite a big, but that's a flip-flop journal. So you let me know what sort of journal would you, or something that is your favorite, or something you'd like to learn how to do and you haven't managed to do that, and you want to tackle something and have a tutorial to go along with that. Okay, so I'll leave that there. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one. God bless. Bye.